Do you like wool of lots of different colours in Minecraft 1.16 and you'd like loads of it? This micro triple wool farm is going to sort you out. Don't you go anywhere. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, and welcome to another episode from me, Avomance, in my 1.16 farm tutorial series. Today, we're going to be using these puppies here, these three sheep, because we are going to make a triple wool farm. Now, this wool farm I featured in my Avomance 1.16 solo survival series, but what I did want to show you is I did set up a really doddle simple wool farm. It's a little triple wool farm because I don't need a bazillion bits of wool, but I am going to need wool for planning out the things. If you do want a tutorial on how to do this wool farm, little triple wool farm, do let me know and perhaps I'll sort one out. And you guys said you'd really like a quick tutorial, so a quick tutorial you shall have. This one is a doddle. Everything you need for this triple wool farm is in this chest right here. These two rows at the top, they're essential. This extra block of dirt, really quite handy, but not 100% essential. Bits in the bottom left here, you don't need them. They're just there for decoration. And obviously, you need some tools. I'm going to take out this axe because I also need these two chests. That's part of it too. Let's crack on. Now, you only need a 5 by 5-ish space, depending on how much decoration you put into it. But the first thing you do to kick out those two dirt blocks, by the way, that I just dug out there, are not needed for this build. I just dug them out the ground because you might be digging into stone or something like that, so I couldn't possibly include those. You've got a double chest there, and then dig out one there, and one there. So you've made yourself a bit of a cross shape like that. Get your 3 hoppers and shift click your 3 hoppers going into that chest. Very important that it goes into it and not just poking into the ground, otherwise there will be tears. Put a rail on each of these hoppers and a minecart with hopper. Make sure it's a minecart with hopper and not just a minecart, otherwise it won't work, on like that. Then what we're going to do is we're going to start to build up on top. Now, this is where the extra dirt block can sometimes come into play, because I'm going to put a dirt block on top of that chest. It's temporary, don't panic. We're then going to put a dirt block on top of that, and that's gone into the hopper, but never mind. And I'm going to pop a dirt above each of these hoppers like that. Now, at the moment, I've got dirt. If you've got a silk touch pickaxe, you could just dig out some grass blocks, in which case you wouldn't need this block here. However, you need that block here because you want the grass to grow up onto that block, which then grows up onto this middle block, which then serves all 3 of these blocks. So let's wait until that grass grows up there. You can see now that our grass blocks have grown up. You only need it to grow onto the middle one. You could then potentially remove this fella here. You don't have to. Obviously, you could use it to assist you to get up on top. But as long as that middle one's got grass on, these other 3 will eventually grow grass too. That could take up to about 10 minutes or so, but it doesn't take very long. Get yourself an observer. This is an observer. I'm going to pop an observer there. I'm going to pop an observer there. And I'm going to pop an observer there. You'll notice that the face of the observer is facing into the grass block and the little redstone bum is facing outwards. This is really important. The observer is going to be looking at this grass block, and when it changes, like for example when a sheep eats the grass, that will let out a redstone fart, that 1 tick redstone pulse. Then what you need is a block, and I'm going to use an oak log, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using some of my decorative logs here just because I think it looks a little bit better. And you pop an oak log on the back of that observer there. So you don't need this one at the bottom. I'm just putting it there because I think it looks a little bit more natural coming up there. So you can see exactly like that. You've got a block on the back of each of those observers. Then come into the middle and put redstone dust on each of those 3 blocks. Now make sure your redstone dust doesn't look like the splodge of blood that you now get in 1.16. Make sure it looks like the spider, because if you've got it as the blood, it won't work. If you've got it as the spider, it will. You can change it from one to the other just by right clicking, and I think that's brilliant. By the way, you need your dispenser now. Grab your dispenser and pop a dispenser facing into the middle like that onto each of them. So you should have something that looks like that now. We're now going to build the enclosures for our sheep, which are going to live on that block, and that block there. This is where I like to use my decoratives. So I'm just going to put 2 blocks high on each of those. And on that, I'm going to be putting a glass block there, a glass block there, a glass block there, and a glass block there. You can then put a glass block in the middle, and you can see you've already got your enclosures. Obviously, they're only 1 high, so that's no good. So then what we need to do is we need to shift click 1 on there, there, and there. That leaves us with 5 blocks that go there, 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 and there. And that's all of the 13 blocks of glass that we need to use. I can then take out this piece of dirt because it's no longer any good, and I can retrieve the dirt that fell in the case before. And anything that goes into these blocks at the top here goes into these minecart with hoppers and straight into that chest. Brilliant. We're now going to start just to build around it before we bring in the sheep. Now this is the bit where the decorative blocks, in my opinion, come into their own. Now almost all the blocks I'm about to place are not essential. The ones that could be considered semi-essential are these ones that I place in the corners because they will stop wool from glitching through. It's very rare, but every now and again the odd bit of wool could potentially glitch through the corner. So those ones will be semi-essential. You don't absolutely have to have it. And again, I'm going to put that there as well. That is also not essential. It's semi-essential. And I'm going to pop a lantern on top. That just gives light to those areas, and I just think it looks nicer and does reduce the tiny teeny chance of any mobs spawning inside. So now what we're going to do is pop down these non-essential blocks. I'm going to get those logs here, those logs there, 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 and also here and here. And then we're going to get these stripped oak logs, and we're going to place one like that and one like that. We can then come on top, and on top of each of those logs we're going to place a stripped oak log. You can see that encloses all of those areas with a double height, so you haven't got any chance of that glitching that I mentioned. Finally, we are going to place 3 blocks there. In fact, you don't even need that one, do you? There you go, minus one of those not essential blocks right there, because we want to be able to step up to this farm. These will come back to you, so you can put them back in your inventory later. And now we need to go and find some sheep. Where are they gone? They were around here. There they are. So this is the fun bit. You got to entice the sheep into your farm. It's not that hard, but it can sometimes be a bit fiddly, and you can get a little frustrated. Go and find yourself a sheep whilst holding some wheat. That sheep will become your friend. Hello, Mr. Sheep. Yes, I am your friend. Come along this way. Make sure it stays following you. Don't get too far ahead of it, otherwise the sheep will get a little bit fed up. It thinks you're playing with it, and which you are, by the way. Then come up onto this structure here. The sheep will follow you up because it's stupid. And then get as far away as you can from the sheep. And then once you've kind of got it in position, switch your hand. It becomes less interested in you, and just give it a bit of a push. And it falls in the hole. I did that like a pro, didn't I? Then get yourself a trapdoor and pop that trapdoor there. That trapdoor is just going to make it easier for you to get the second and the third sheep in, which are over there and over there. Once you've got your sheep inside, they will start to eat the grass. In fact, I think all 3 of them have already started to eat the grass, and that's absolutely fine. Now, maybe you don't just want white wool. It's sometimes very much more efficient to dye the sheep rather than the wool afterwards. So I'm just going to dye that one yellow, and I'm going to dye that one red. Right, these 3 guys, I'll keep that one white, are all now ready to start collection. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get 3 sets of shears, and I'm going to put a set of shears in that dispenser, a set of shears in that dispenser, and a set of shears in that dispenser as well. And then I'm just going to finish off with a little bit of decoration whilst that grass grows back, because obviously the grass is still not grown and they can't eat it until it is. I'll get those temporary blocks back, and I'm going to pop a stone button on those 2, a stone button on those 2, and a stone button on each of these sides as well, just to give it a little bit of decoration. Again, utterly and completely up to you if you don't want to do that. We're now going to leave this fella for an hour and see how much wool we get. Now bear in mind, this is a micro farm. It doesn't give you loads of wool all in one go, but it does give you a little bit, and it makes it dead easy. That is pretty much exactly 1 hour, and after 3 chilly sheep have sat there chewing away at grass, we have got, right, that's interesting, 51 white wool, 27 yellow wool and 32 red wool. It's often quite common to find that coloured wools come through at a slightly lower rate than the white wool. If you know something that I don't, hashtag white sheep in the comments below. Do white wool sheep eat more grass and as a result get shorn more often? I don't know. If you know, it will be very interesting to find that out. You can see though, however, almost no wear on those shears whatsoever, so they'll last forever. If you fill those shears up completely, you are going to be on wool for days. And bear in mind, you can just chug away at this, build a house, build a mine, do whatever. As long as this chunk is loaded, you will have wool continually being produced for you. So you're going to have loads. Maybe you want to make a bank of these. You could have one next to another, next to another, next to another. That will give you loads of wool. And there you have one micro triple wool farm that you can get coloured wool, white wool, whatever you want. You could definitely modularise it and build yourself a number one after the other. They don't take up much of a footprint and they produce you plenty of wool. If you have enjoyed this video, please do remember to slap that like button. It'd be great to know you're enjoying them and I will keep on making. Also, if you've not done it already, please do hit that subscribe button. It'd be great to see you in my sub club and I look forward to seeing you in another video. You take it easy now. Bye.